Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for a new episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone, and this, of course, is my horror comic haul for August. I got some really awesome books that I want to showcase. One of them was a big surprise that I didn't even know about until I saw an article about it on a horror website, or arrowinthehead.com. But some really great stuff, and I can't wait to showcase it to you guys. The first one I want to showcase is Pumpkinhead number 5. Right there. And this, I've read all the issues except for this one. This is the last issue. It was a 5-issue limited series. Was really happy with it. I love the character of Pumpkinhead. I love the first Pumpkinhead movie so much. I know they made a couple sequels. I've seen Bloodwings. I have the 4th film, but I've never seen the 3rd film. And I've only seen pieces of the 4th one. But the first film is so fantastic. I love Lance Henriksen. And I love this character. And I was really happy to see it come back to life after such a long hiatus in comic book form. I just really love this character, and I'm really anxious to read this last book, and I definitely recommend it to any of the any fans out there that really enjoyed the first film. Really great tone. Loved the drawing. The art is fantastic in this, so a definite recommend for me. Was really happy to pick that one up. Next 2 issues, I'm still behind on my Walking Dead because I've been reading so much other stuff, so I'm still behind, but this is issues number 181 and 182 of The Walking Dead. So here's 181. There. And then there's 182. And I will show these up close at the end of the video. Next one, we got a new X-Files. This is Case Files number 1. Next one is my favorite. This is Archives of Horror Comics. I've talked about it many times. It's called Haunted Horror. This is issue number 34. Love that cover. Just if you're a fan of Tales from the Crypt or Vault of Horror, any of like the Tales to Astonish, anything like that, you want to pick these up because it collects old horror comics, and it's just fantastic. And I've been collecting these for about 5 years now. Next one is Hack and Slash Resurrection. This is with Vampirella. I haven't read any of these, but I have them all. This is issue number 9. Next one, I've read the first issue, but I haven't read any of these, and these were in my saver. This is The Immortal Hulk. I said that was a fantastic first issue. Hulk being my favorite Marvel character, my favorite comic book character of all time. Here's issue number 2. Then we have issue number 3 right here. And then finally, issue number 4. And again, I will show these up close. Next one is the one I've been anticipating for a while. They are not coming out exactly when they were supposed to, so this was delayed by a few weeks, but this is Jeepers Creepers number 4. But I love that cover. And then this one is the other one they had, and you can see the outline of the Creeper's shadow right there. I really love that. And I will be doing a review on issue number 4, just like I've done for the first 3 issues. And in more Jeepers Creepers news, this is a 5-issue limited series too, so there's only one more issue, issue number 5. I assume it's probably going to come out beginning of September, which is a bummer. I had hoped that it would go on longer, but maybe they'll do another story, because I can't wait to talk about issue number 4. And the last one I want to talk about is one that I found out about on arrowinthehead.com, which is a horror website that I sometimes frequent. So back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a Fright Night comic book series. It was put out by a company called Now Comics. When I used to do a segment on this channel that wasn't very popular, and it was one that I did about 5 years ago. And I kind of did it off and on for a few years, but people just didn't really connect with it. It was just called Comic Book Wednesdays, and every Wednesday I would just showcase every type of comic that I got. And what I would do in those segments is I would show like comics that I've had in my collection since I was a kid. And the first one did pretty well, but after that they were just kind of hit or miss. People just didn't seem to really connect with them. But this horror comic haul, where I just focus on the horror comics, people seem to be liking this one a lot. But in that segment, I talked about the Fright Night comic book series, and I still have every issue from that comic book series. It was a comic book series that ran from 1988 to 1990. It was supposed to coincide with the release of Fright Night 2, but then with all the problems that film had, it never was really released theatrically. But they put out 2 issues that were kind of adaptations of the first Fright Night, and then they put out a graphic novel version of Fright Night Part 2. And then the rest of the series was different adventures, and like you'd had Evil Ed coming back for like a 3-issue limited series. It was great. Fantastic book. I had a subscription to it. I got it every month in the mail. It was so great. And then in my sophomore year of high school, they canceled it. There was no reason for it. Now Comics eventually went bankrupt, but they canceled the Fright Night comic, and they canceled it on an issue where Jerry Dandridge came back from the dead and fought Evil Ed. It was like a great comic book, and I was so disappointed that they ended up canceling it. But what's going on right now is that Tom Holland has had the rights to, I think he's close to getting the rights to the films back. I don't know all the details about that, but that's like one of the reasons why I think Fright Night 2 has never gotten a Blu-ray release or a really good release. But he has the rights again to the comic books, and he's putting out a new Fright Night comic book. And this was limited to, I believe, 500 issues. And if they are still available, I'll put a link down below where people can check it out. But this is called Tom Holland's Fright Night, the Peter Vincent Chronicles. And this is only available, I believe, through his site, which is Terror Time. It took a few weeks to get here. It just arrived today, and that's why I held off on doing the comic book the horror comic haul segment until it arrived. But this just means so much to me. I am 16 years old again today, having this book in my possession, because that book being canceled was probably one of the lowest, it was probably one of the saddest moments in my childhood, because I just absolutely loved it. And the fact that it was canceled has always broken my heart. And it's one of my favorite comic book series of all time. And the fact that they're doing a new comic book series, and it's going to be featuring Peter Vincent as he was played by the late great Roddy McDowall. I have no idea. I haven't read it yet, but the art is fantastic, and I will showcase some of the art in it. So it looks fantastic, and I'm just so excited to have this. And like I said, if there are still, I know there was a few there was like a different variant cover that sold out, and I believe Tom Holland was at Dark Delicacies just recently signing copies of it. But if there are still books available, I'll put a link down below. It's issue number 0. I have no idea when the series is going to start. I'm assuming that Tom Holland is going to be self-distributing them through his company. But like I said, if I know more information about it, I will post it on my social media links, and people can find out about that there. So thanks everyone for watching this. Like I said, I just wanted to showcase these books. I'm probably going to do a special segment on the Fright Night comic book series again, just because I did that one so long ago, and I'd like to do one that's a little bit more in depth. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite comic book was that I showcased. Stay tuned for my review of Jeepers Creepers issues number 4. I can't wait to talk about it. And as always, thanks so much for supporting me, and stay tuned for some great content coming real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.